how do you see the president's speech today?
Well, I think, let me start by saying that the president did well by addressing Nigerians, more so because of the pressure that has been all over the place. Remember, the NLC threatened to go on strike on Wednesday, and I think it's good of him to have decided to address us as a nation. Also, the president said that he was going to talk to Nigerians in plain language, which he did. He said he was not going to use any form of jargon or economic terms. That's fine. I think he did well by speaking to us plainly. But just that I also have a few observations about his plain language. For example, he told us that the subsidy regime has always been a fraud. I think successive governments have told us that. And he also told us that that subsidy cost us trillions of naira. I think that is just a repetition of what we've always heard. And also the fact that the money was going into the pockets of some individuals in Nigeria. For me, we've always heard about subsidy going into the pockets of a few Nigerians. Who are they? Are they faceless? Why can't we identify them? So does it mean that it is enough for us to have some few people who live on Nigeria's economy and for the poor to keep on suffering because our government has been unable to unveil whosoever these people are? I think we need to talk about these faceless people. Look at the US, for example. The former president is being tried in court now. And I mean, that is how a system should work.
Nobody should be above the law.
Exactly. So why is it that in our own situation, we can only hear of people that are ruining the economy, and all we can now hear is for people to now suffer because some people decide to steal from Nigeria? I think for that, I don't understand. Also, when we talk about the 50 billion intervention for the nano businesses, the president said it's going to provide a 50,000 naira loan to 1,300 people from each of the 74 local governments in Nigeria. Anyway, I look at 1,300 in a local government of a population of about 10 to 15 million. For example, how do you determine the 1,300 that you want to pick in that local government? Besides, 50,000 naira is barely enough to buy a bag of rice. So what do we do about that? And also the president talked about allowing students to access loan. Now, there was a condition to the loan, to the student's loan initially, that your parents must not earn above 500,000 per annum. Now, the president has removed that conditionality. But the interesting thing is that where is the loan? Where is the loan? We don't even have any loan in place. So all the president spoke well, but all I can say is that what he was talking about is futuristic. Then it spoke about grains, budgeting 50 billion also for agric to plant cassava, to plant wheat, 100 billion for cassava and wheat, then another 100 billion, the same 100 billion to buy buses and all of that. All the things that the president spoke about today are just in the future. I would have preferred if we can have things that we can point to, that this is what we have done.
How immediate?
Yes, the immediate things that we address the needs and the concerns of the people. I'm afraid, I'm tempted to think that this president's speech is just to avert the NLC strike I hope that is not the reason, but that is what it looks like, because it's not as if we have anything on ground. And also the president promised that it's going to increase the workers' salary. And of course, too, we don't know with what percentage. What do you think?
Well, I will first start by saying that I listened to the broadcast and I felt that the area that I first paid attention to was when it spoke about, when it was assuring us that it will be monitoring the effects of the exchange rate and inflation on petrol prices, and that if and when necessary, we will intervene. I think when I spoke about that last week, that there's no economy in the world where the government just allows market forces to take over everywhere. Government should be ready to intervene if and when it's necessary. You understand? And then do. And we've also been saying that if government does not look at the forex market and do something to manage the rates there, we will get to a point where naira will exchange for 1,000 naira to a dollar, and then also that will also affect the price of petrol. So it's a good thing that it's already also saying that government could intervene when necessary, because the economy cannot take a 1,000 naira per liter fuel, petrol. Is going to cause a lot of problems. So we need to get to a point where the naira rate to the dollar at the forex market should be at a reasonable level. It should be managed in a way that it will be at a reasonable level. And then fuel price, we should not be allowed to go haywire. You understand? So I think that area. Then two, we are saving money, trillions of naira from the subsidy that has been removed. We should also be seen to be spending that money we are saving on social services and other issues. So I don't think it's the right time for government to say, hey, we want to hands off education. I think government should still be playing, I tell the federal government I'm talking about now, should still be playing a big role in education at the tertiary level. For now, the economy is still, for me, still very weak. It takes some time for the economy to strengthen. It could take some years. So, and people are extremely, there's so many poor people in the society now, and inflation is extremely high. So, to lessen the burden on the people, government shouldn't just be withdrawing from all the things it's been doing. If you are removing subsidy, then it's not the same time that you are removing all that. You should also be removing your intervention in education. I think it should be done gradually. I said that last week, I'm still repeating it. It should be a gradual process. Then, of course, the president also spoke about importing CNG powered buses, 20-seater buses. That will be distributed nationwide. I will also say that is also a bit. He said between now and March next year, I think.
Yeah, 2024.
That's a bit futuristic, because people actually want
immediate
relief. Yeah, people want immediate relief, and that's what is very important. Yeah, like I said, what the Lagos State government mentioned today is a bit specific. At least they are talking about reducing bus fares, which will have an immediate impact on the sovereign masses.
And it's measurable.
So I guess we will need more of that kind of thing from Mr. President, rather than talking about things that will happen in a year's time or in 2 years' time.
Interestingly, we always hear that the rich are the ones benefiting from fuel subsidy. But interestingly, the poor are always the one complaining.
Then again, there's always talk about as if subsidy is a strange thing, but there's no economy where there's no subsidy. Even in the UK and the US, there are subsidies.
Everybody, every government subsidizes one thing or the other.
So it's just for the government to choose what it wants to subsidize. I mean, if you say you don't want to subsidize petrol because we are losing so much money in that area, you can still move the subsidy to some other important areas, like food and some other things. If food is cheap, if transport is cheap, people won't complain.
Yeah.
They won't get so worried about the price of petrol if food is going to be cheap and transportation is cheap. Because in places like the UK, there are other options.
Yeah.
If you can't drive your car out, you can join
Public
train,
transportation.
or you can ride on a bus.
Yeah.
But here, it seems as if
You
there's
have no
no
choice.
difference between taking your car out and riding on a bus, because everything is so costly. So we need to see government looking into things like that.
Yeah, I think so. And let's also hope that the president's speech today will prevent the organized labor from going on his planned strike on Wednesday. And interestingly, the president is also meeting, or the presidency is also meeting with representatives of labor today. Let's wait and see the outcome of that meeting. Maybe this could avert the strike, which will be good for all Nigerians, I suppose, because there are also implications of labor going on strike. Hospitals will close down, a lot of disruptions in the system, but at the same time, the poor must be allowed to breathe.
I think maybe it depends on the way they see the president's speech today. If they feel that it is reassuring, they may decide to call off the strike. But if they think that the government has not been taking them seriously, and that they feel that they need to show government something so that they will know the mean business, then they may still go ahead with it.
Well,
I think at the end of the day, we are all Nigerians, both the government and the people, and we should work together to build a better society
that works for everyone.
So I think the labor people to also have a role to play. So also check the government when they are getting too excessive in things they do.
Wow.
So I think we need those critical forces to also speak up, so that when government is going too far and going too fast,
like a check and balance.
Okay. They will be there to say, hey, you are going too far, you are going too fast.
Yeah. So, well, Nigerians, that is all we have for today. We hope everything will end well. We are enjoying the president, and I say that enjoyment in quotes. We love his action, but let that action be for the benefit of the poor. I say again, let the poor breathe.